marquee CM face stunt. Kejriwal hints at Bhagwant, but with a twist. AAP opens line for tele-voting in Punjab.
मैं तो कह रहा था कि भगवंत मान को बना देते हैं। भगवंत ने कहा नहीं, जनता से पूछना चाहिए सर।
Bhagwant or public vote? Speculation over AAP CM face. AAP hesitant on announcing Bhagwant's name? Or Bhagwant entry through public vote? Top focus on To The Point.
Alright viewers, warm welcome. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. So what really happened today left a lot of people rather confused. Is the Aam Aadmi Party putting their weight behind Bhagwant Mann as their chief ministerial face or not? Well, what they did do today with the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in Punjab made an announcement which has never been made earlier by any political party before any election. The Delhi Chief Minister said that he's going to be opening out phone lines and people can televote in their name for who they want to be the chief ministerial face of Aam Aadmi Party. In midst of it all, viewers, he did in fact also give a hint that if it was up to him, he would have wanted Bhagwant Mann, who's like a younger brother to him, extremely dear to him, to be the chief ministerial face. But it was Bhagwant Mann's idea to turn it around and ask the people themselves. So what is it that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to indicate? Are they hedging? Are they hesitant to actually put their money on Bhagwant Mann as the chief ministerial candidate? Or do they actually want to go to the public and ask them who their preferred Aam Aadmi Party face for the chief ministerial candidate is? Now, Arvind Kejriwal did all of this at the time of ruling himself out of the race. When asked that what if you enter and be the chief minister of Punjab if Aam Aadmi Party actually wins the election, he says it's not going to be him at all. But who will it be? Lots of speculations on that. Listen in.
ये तो लगभग तय हो चुका कि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी, तो आम आदमी पार्टी का जो भी सीएम चेहरा होगा वो पंजाब का अगला सीएम होगा। भगवंत मान जी हमारे बहुत प्यारे हैं, मेरा छोटा भाई है, आम आदमी पार्टी के सबसे बड़े नेता हैं। हम भी अपने कमरे में बैठ के मैं तो कह रहा था कि भगवंत मान को बना देते हैं। भगवंत ने कहा नहीं, जनता से पूछना चाहिए सर। भगवंत ने कहा कि जो जनता मेरे को जिम्मेदारी देगी वो जिम्मेदारी मैं पूरी करूंगा। ये बंद कमरे पे सीएम का चेहरा डिसाइड करने का ये सिलसिला बंद करना चाहिए सर।
कांग्रेस ने 3 कर दिए, बीजेपी डबल इंजन कहती है। और सुखबीर बादल, उनको पूछा गया कि तुम होगे, वो कहता जी पिताजी से पूछूंगा, उनको खुद नहीं पता, ठीक है ना। लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी है, आज कितनी तारीख है?
13 लोहड़ी है जी।
17 को 5 बजे के बाद आपको ये सवाल करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी।
All right, Priya. So what is it that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to do? Let's cut across right now to get a larger understanding from my colleague Harmeet Shah, senior editor, India Today TV. He's joining me right now from a village Majri in Punjab. Harmeet is on his election tour trying to gauge in what the people of Punjab want to this election. Harmeet, you know, the fact is the Aam Aadmi Party has little choice but to name Bhagwant Mann as the candidate. But they are hesitating. What are the reasons for this hesitation? Because it does seem like that they want to take the people's route to name him ultimately in the end.
Well, there are two observations as a political observer that I can make out from this this announcement of Kejriwal that public opinion will be sought. One is absolutely crystal clear that he wants to send a message across to his cadre, across to his Punjab leaders that he is the boss. So that is absolutely clear, and that he cannot be taken for granted, howsoever big a leader might there be in this state. That's one thing. The other thing is, Preeti, that, you know, this is a typical Kejriwal style. In Delhi also we have seen how he would invite public opinion on odd even, how he would invite public opinion and suggestions on lockdown restrictions and so on and so forth. So in Punjab, he has been accused, especially by Channi and the Akali Dal, of being an outsider. Now he wants to use, apparently he wants to use this adversity turn this adversity into an opportunity. Yes, we have a Delhi model, and this is what our model is, and this is what we like to bring to Punjab, that there will be a democratic setup, a democratic party in power, which will take people's opinion into account before taking any decision. So this is also a second larger message out to the people of Punjab through this announcement.
You know, Harmeet, I'm going to ask you one quick question before I let you go. And I want to know what is the, the kind of reactions you're picking up from the people of Punjab on having Bhagwant Mann as a chief ministerial face. Because right now, where the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, they have very, very little choice. If you want to look at a Sikh face from somebody who is from Punjab and not an outsider, which is Kejriwal, then your only bet right now for the Aam Aadmi Party is Bhagwant Mann. What are the reactions that you're picking up from the people that you're talking to on accepting him as the possible chief ministerial face for Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, all that depends on, how people, when we talk about Punjab, Punjab is a homogeneous state. So, for example, I went to a village, and that too in Turi constituency in Punjab, which falls in Sangrur district, which is Bhagwant Mann's home district. I went there, I spoke to people there, and what I realized there was that people were really, they were really positive about him. They would call him a grassroots leader who would come down to their homes, who would talk to them, who has no heirs around him. Now, speaking about a pan-Punjab thing, one thing I think we should keep in mind that at this stage, there is a lot of inflection in Punjab politics. Overall, the social atmosphere here is very difficult to gauge that which side Punjab will vote. As of now, it looks like there could be a hung assembly at this stage. So you just cannot say how the people of Punjab in general will react to it. But yes, Bhagwant Mann does have a celebrity appeal, and his language, his oratory, I think they do make a lot of difference when he comes down to make speeches in different rallies, of course, before the restrictions came in place.
All right. Appreciate you joining us, Harmeet. We're going to continue coming back to you, and hopefully, once my quarantine is over, I can also come and join you in Punjab. Thank you, Harmeet, for joining us with that, quick uptake on what is Punjab looking at, especially where the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. I want to also quickly now bring in Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, into the fray. Rashid Kidwai, right now with what seems to be, the suggestion in Punjab is it's going to be a fight between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress. The fact is the Aam Aadmi Party might have invited public opinion, opened out lines to know or ask who their chief ministerial face should be. Ultimately, word is that they're going to bring in Bhagwant Mann through the people's mandate. But the announcement will be made before Punjab goes to vote. They will announce their chief ministerial face before Punjab goes to vote. When you look at the Congress, who is he up against? If it is Bhagwant Mann, is it Sidhu, is it Channi? Why hasn't the Congress been able to make up its mind yet?
Preeti, I think there are two different things here. The Congress has an incumbent chief minister, and that is Mr. Charanjit Singh Channi. Now, what happens next, we do not know. If Mr. Navjot Sidhu takes a claim, if majority of MLAs back him, he may become. But theoretically speaking, there is a chief minister and Congress is fighting under that person's leadership. You remember what happened in Assam? The BJP went with its incumbent chief minister, and after that they changed it, and now they have a new chief minister. So this is the thing. Aam Aadmi Party, which is putting up a very credible fight against the Congress, they are somehow were in double mind to name a chief minister candidate or not. Now this looks like a bit of a drama where you give a number and you are trying to have some kind of mini referendum on who should be the chief ministerial candidate. I mean, imagine, Preeti, if some unusual name comes in other than Mr. Mann, then what happens?
But Rashid Kidwai, the fact is, it's not about what happens if an unusual. Let's just say that this is just for it's a cause-effect situation where they have announced that they are opening in collar lines. Most who've been following the Punjab trajectory where Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, the Aam Aadmi Party has little choice but to announce Bhagwant Mann. But the fact is there is still a face. The confusion lies in the Congress right now. Who is going to be your next chief minister? You might have an incumbent, chief minister, but is he going to be the person next? Who is Punjab going to vote for? I'm going to come back to the question. I want to quickly introduce our Aam Aadmi Party guest as well. I have Ravinder Singh, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Singh, what is the deal here? Is it that the Aam Aadmi Party doesn't trust Ravinder Singh? Okay, we don't have Ravinder Singh is what I've been just told. I want to cut across back to Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, the same question which I wanted to ask, which I asked you earlier. What happens where the Congress voter is concerned? Who are they voting for?
You see, Preeti, you must remember in every political party there are more than one contenders in every state. So it is not unusual for having more than one aspirant. You look at Rajasthan, where there is a chief minister and there is a contender in Mr. Sachin Pilot. Earlier, when Congress was in power in Madhya Pradesh, there was Kamal Nath was chief minister and Jyotiraditya was a contender. So this has been very much part and parcel of Congress's political culture. Punjab situation is no different. See, there is a theoretical part and there is a practical side. The theoretical part is that after Congress wins, if suppose Congress wins, then only they will be able to select a new chief minister. So therefore, Mr. Charanjit Singh Channi has brought in a lot of novelty.
Okay, Rashid Kidwai, stay with me. I want to bring in the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. Ravinder Singh is finally with us. Mr. Singh, you've joined us very late in the debate, but the question I want to ask you is, does the Aam Aadmi Party not have enough confidence on Bhagwant Mann to announce him on his own? Usually chief minister faces are announced by the party where the party has full faith in their face.
Aam Aadmi Party doesn't do the stereotype politics, Preeti ma'am. Actually, I was make a mention over here that Aam Aadmi Party is the most youngest party of India and run by an idea of development and just to change the politics. When you have to change the politics, you have to take some bold decisions. We are not going to impose any person as a CM on the people of Punjab. Even the candidates, MLA candidates, which has been announced by Aam Aadmi Party, a proper, this survey with regard to the candidate has been done by our own team, by the team of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. The people or the candidates who have some solid ground, who are pro-people, are selected as a candidate for the member of Legislative Assembly, as we are doing with the CM candidate. It's just the idea of pro-people politics. We just want the people or the voters of the constituency or a state are not only restrained to vote for someone. They do have a right.
Singh, political word has it that you're trying to use the people's route to introduce Bhagwant Mann as a chief ministerial face because the Aam Aadmi Party doesn't quite have the confidence in doing it on their own. You want to do it right at the end, and that is the time you want to do it at.
It's not about right in the end. It's about to take the consent of the people with regard to their leader. But usually parties do, that they impose their leader as the leader of the state, but they aren't the leaders. This is what happened with Mr. Captain Amrinder Singh. This is what is happening with Charanjit
Ravinder Singh, your
That is the
entire
only reason
poll campaign right now is around Arvind Kejriwal. I want to take in what Rashid Kidwai was trying to say earlier. What if your poll comes out and said we want Arvind Kejriwal as the chief minister? Will Mr. Kejriwal leave Delhi if you win Punjab?
Where's the question of Mr. Kejriwal now? It's a very obedient, it's a very stupid question you're asking me on the national TV debate, that when we are announcing Mr. Bhagwant Mann as a CM candidate and we are asking the people to vote for him, then where's the question of Mr. Kejriwal arise over here?
Have you announced? I'm sorry. How is this a stupid question, Mr. Ravinder Singh? Have you announced? You just said right now, when we are announcing, have you announced Bhagwant Mann or not?
It's a very relevant question. We proposed a name.
How is it an irrelevant question? I'm asking you a question. You are asking the people. If the people say we want Arvind Kejriwal, then will you make Arvind Kejriwal the chief minister if you win Punjab?
It's an irrelevant question. It's not relevant question altogether. It's an irrelevant question.
How is it an irrelevant question?
Asking you a very irrelevant question.
How is it an irrelevant question, sir? When you have asked you are asking the people.
Like Mr. Bhagwant Mann
have you announced Bhagwant Mann is a question I want to ask you? Yes or no?
With regard to the Mr. Kejriwal,
have you announced Bhagwant Mann? I'm asking you a question, Mr. Singh.
I'm not able to hear you, ma'am. You're not audible.
Have you announced Bhagwant Mann as the chief minister of FACE?
This is the whole concept, Mr. Ma'am.
Have you announced Bhagwant Mann as the chief ministerial face? All right, we can't seem to connect to Ravinder Singh. I want to go back to Rashid Kidwai. Rashid Kidwai, the fact is that they ultimately will announce a face, and I'll come back to the question which I asked you, which will be in all probability Bhagwant Mann. Whether he cuts it for the Aam Aadmi Party or not is a different gambit altogether. But where the Congress, the principal opposition, is concerned, those who are looking at Channi, those who Channi has endeared himself to, who are they going to vote for?
Preeti, first of all, I think this the formulation by Ravinder Singh is quite actually bizarre. Because on the one hand, he is saying that if there is I can imagine an open-ended referendum telephone call that who should be the chief minister. But you cannot, if you have made up your mind and you are saying that it is going to be Mr. Mann, then what is the need to get these, these voices? Because you've already decided you are looking for an endorsement. Third thing is, in parliamentary model of parliamentary democracy, people elect MLAs. MLAs elect chief minister. So there is no direct election of a chief minister. This is a constitutional scheme of things, but it is their political party. I've been saying it, there are numerous instances where an election has been fought under the leadership of a particular individual, and after election, there's been a change of situation. For the Congress, the most important thing is to cross that bridge. They need to win election in order to be in contention, and then they can decide whether it's going to be continuation of Channi or it's going to be Navjot Sidhu.
All right, I want to go back to Ravinder Singh right now. Ravinder Singh, if you can hear me, once again I'll ask you the question which you called irrelevant because we are a little confused. Has the Aam Aadmi Party announced Bhagwant Mann as their chief ministerial face? Yes or no?
People will like him. People are
because you just said that on national television
want
that they have.
him to be. And that is the only reason we are getting so much calls, even more than 5 lakh calls.
So why are you holding a survey if people want him to be? Then what is the point of opening caller lines when people already want him to be?
Then let the people decide. We want an endorsement from the people of Punjab. Why all the
then
parties are worried about the name of Mr. Bhagwant Mann? Why? I'm very much aware. Yeah, you may ask.
Sir, we are not understanding what are you trying to say? At one end, you're saying people want him to be, therefore we've announced, but you've not announced.
Your question is over.
Yes, sir. Please answer.
Hello. Yeah. Now see what is happening in the state of Punjab.
Mr. Singh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let me speak. There is a lag between,
Go ahead, sir. Answer. We are very confused because we can't understand whether the Aam Aadmi Party has announced Bhagwant Mann as a chief ministerial face or not. And if people already
happened-
want him, why are they going back to the people? What is this confusion?
What happened in the state of Punjab in the previous 6 months, you may, if you see, the mandate was given to the captain in 2017. And when the Congress party had seen that we are losing these coming 2022 elections, they changed the entire, concept of Captain Amarinder Singh and put the CM Channi into the front cage and making the fool of the people of Punjab. And that is the only. If all the stereotype politicians or the stereotype parties do have courage, let them announce this kind of campaign in the state of Punjab. Let the people announce. Let the people give
Sir,
their
it's
consent.
not about the Congress party. I'm asking you, but you're.
Some person, Mr. Bhagwant Mann, Mr. Channi, Mr. Sidhu, Mr. Sukhbir Singh Badal, as they see it. What's wrong in it? I am very much aware about the.
But what is bizarre is, all right, I'm going to close the show. Appreciate all three gentlemen for joining us. But ultimately, we just want to. Ultimately, there's been no clarity because the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson says it is Bhagwant Mann that the party is going to announce. People already want him. If people already want him, why are we opening caller lines and asking people to actually vote in their chief ministerial favourite face for the Aam Aadmi Party? Ultimately, is this a way of putting forth Bhagwant Mann's name but take the people's route, which the Aam Aadmi Party has done many times earlier? Will it work or not? Well, that's a topic of another debate. Thank you all for joining us. Up next is Raghav Chadha.